All right, Chris and Brian here from Resolve Technology, and we want to talk about a new feature that yet another feature that Microsoft came up with Windows, the Windows operating system. It's called Windows Share. Chris and I were just going back and forth with this. Stuff like this, I'll probably never use this. This again to me seems like feature bloat on the part of Windows. Most Windows machines are used for business. I guess if I was a home user, I might use this, but Chris, talk a little bit about this and how you see this as like a competitor to the Apple ecosystem and that sort of thing.
Yeah, because on Apple, your iPhone links up with a Mac or a MacBook. You can text from the computer and all of these back and forth airdrop files. With Windows, this is much more recently, but I have tested it. If you on Windows 11, there's something called Phone Link, and we actually had a ticket on this once. Someone wanted to set up their iPhone, but they were on Windows 10. The Phone Link used to only work with Android. It does work with iPhone now. I was able to get notifications from my iPhone on Windows Phone Link, and I was able to text people from that, and like my contacts pulled in. So it does work with iPhone, the Phone Link app, but you got to be on Windows 11.
Okay, but the Phone Link app is different than the Windows Share.
It looks like you need to have your phone synced with Phone Link. And then if you come in here, I choose a document right here, share, the share button. And then it's going to show email. It can do it over email through Teams, but right here, my phone, Android. And see, to share with somebody on Windows PC near you, turn on nearby on my PC. We'd get to that just by nearby sharing. So if I just type in nearby sharing, it'll bring me right to it. Everyone nearby, and it has my device discoverable as like my host name, almost like share files, photos, links with nearby Windows devices or Android phones in this case.
Oh, and I see you can set the path, like your path would be users Chris downloads. Now, here's where the problem comes in. I imagine you don't need a password. So if you share that and I connect up to your downloads folder and you have something that is private in there, I don't know, photos of a girlfriend or your wife or whatever, then anybody that connects to your device would be able to see it, right?
Yeah, if they had access to your downloads folder.
Yeah. To me, it just seems like a bit of a security risk, which you were talking about earlier. Like it,
Yeah.
in a business environment, I just don't see the use case. I can see really small businesses using this maybe just to make their life easier, but they tend to have very few IT controls in place, and those are the ones that get compromised.
Yeah, no, you get some like shadow IT. Say it's a smaller business or even a medium-sized business, and you have younger employees even who like to link everything together, who like to do that. It didn't require administrator to do any of that. Now, I'm sure there's going to be, you can shut it off via group policy or through Intune even. But if you're in like just a regular, you got a domain controller, you got a file server, you got basic on-premise infrastructure, and then if you're under compliance, you're not going to want to, that's like a huge no if you comply. Like if you have employees syncing their phone data to their computer or vice
Right.
versa, sending sensitive privileged data off of their computer to their phone or vice versa.
Even if you're not under compliance, this is why you need to have computer use policies and
Yeah.
different policies to cover stuff like this shadow stuff as Chris is talking about. Because if Microsoft does release, or Apple or whoever release something like this that could potentially allow your data, your company data to get out there, you need to have that covered because the employees are smart enough to know maybe in most cases, maybe this is not a good idea. This isn't
Yeah.
something at home, great, who cares? That's your stuff. But when it comes to the business, that's the business's data, not the employee's data.
They
Yeah.
all sign in like it's like signing in with a personal email on their work computer. Most people don't see hey, I'm just going in there checking my email. The problem comes into play is there's no granular restrictions on what's being sent to them. We have no insights. If there was malware in there, which is that could easily happen, and they download it, you hope nothing happens, but it very well could be a cyber incident and be a messy one. If they've signed it, their Comcast Net email had some kind of attachment. Say it was like an engineer, he had Comcast email, he went there because he was going back and forth with someone. I do know people use personal email too sometimes to evade whatever spam filtering they have in place on their Microsoft tenant.
Yeah, it just gets back to the same, to me, a feature that's not really needed. If you really need to share information between people, there's things like OneDrive, Google Drive, other more secure methods to do that rather than something like this. All right, Chris, we'll wrap it there. Thanks for bringing
All
that to
right.
our attention, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right.
All right.